In the bustling modern African city of Lusaka, a 20-year-old college boy named Zain Mwanza returned home for his mid-semester break, expecting nothing more than peace, home food, and his father's loud laughter filling the house. But everything changed the moment he stepped into their luxury penthouse and saw her, his father's business partner, as young wife Naledi, a woman whose presence felt like art carved from sunlight itself. Tall, glowing brown skin, gold bangles, bright eyes, and a calm, confident smile that could silence storms. She had come with her husband, Mr. Kato, to finalize a real estate deal with Zain's father, and while the elders discussed money, towers, and investments, Zain could not focus on anything except Naledi. As mysterious aura, she had the grace of an old spirit, but the softness of someone who carries silent sadness. For hours, he watched her from afar, noticing how she blinked slowly before speaking, how she fixed her earrings when she was nervous, how her eyes carried stories she never told. When she finally turned to him and said, "You must be Zain. Your father talks too proudly about you," he felt his heartbeat climb into his throat. Her voice was soft velvet, the type that melts the edges of the room. Zain tried to act normal, but he knew he failed when Naledi smiled knowingly, as if she had caught him drowning in her presence. Later that evening, when everyone stepped onto the balcony to see the sunset, Zain found himself standing beside her. Without looking at him, she whispered, "City sunsets are lonely, don't you think?" And Zain replied, "Only until someone makes them less lonely." And Naledi turned slowly toward him, shocked by the boldness she did not expect from a college boy. From that moment on, something unspoken sparked between them, an electricity that neither invited nor rejected. It simply grew. As the nights passed, Zain found reasons to stay around when Mr. Kato and his father met for business updates, lingering near Naledi with innocent excuses while she stole small glances at him whenever she thought no one noticed. And although nothing improper happened, the air between them thickened with a silent storm, a storm that waited for its moment to break, a storm that knew that once it started, nothing in their lives would stay the same. 2 days later, Zain's father and Mr. Kato left for a late-night business dinner, and Naledi stayed behind at the penthouse to rest because she claimed she had a headache. Though the truth was far softer, she wanted a night away from her older husband's controlling ways. Zain didn't expect to see her again, but when he stepped into the living room to grab a drink, he found her curled on the couch, staring at the city lights below like someone searching for answers. "Are you okay?" he asked, and she looked at him with eyes full of trapped stories. "Zain, do you ever feel like your life is chosen for you?" she whispered, and he sat beside her without hesitation. She opened up slowly, telling him her childhood dreams, how she once wanted to be a fashion designer, how she wanted to travel, how she wanted love that felt like partnership, not a transaction. Zain listened with a seriousness she didn't expect from a college student, and the way he looked at her made her feel seen for the first time in years. When she laughed at his silly jokes, her shoulders softened. When their hands brushed against each other while reaching for the same glass of water, neither moved away. When thunder shook the sky, Naledi instinctively inched closer. The city lights painted them in gold, and the room felt smaller, warmer, heavier with emotions they were afraid to name. "Naledi, I wish you had the life you deserved," he murmured, and she exhaled shakily, whispering, "And I wish someone had said that to me before it was too late." Their closeness was magnetic, dangerous, and yet utterly human, two hearts craving warmth in a cold world. Before either of them crossed the line, Naledi gently placed her hand on his chest and said, "Zain, don't make me forget who I'm supposed to be." But the truth was already visible in her trembling breath. She had already forgotten. When Mr. Kato came back later that night, Naledi stood up immediately and walked to her room, but as she passed Zain, their eyes locked with a promise neither had spoken, a promise of a story that fate itself was already writing. Over the next week, business meetings increased, giving Zain and Naledi more chances to cross paths in quiet corners, hallways, balconies, gardens, elevators, each encounter adding another layer to their forbidden bond. Once in the garden, Naledi dropped her bracelet, and as Zayn picked it up and tied it back on her wrist, their faces were inches apart. Her eyes softened, his lips parted slightly, and for a moment time froze, leaving only breath and longing between them. Another evening, a sudden power outage darkened the entire penthouse, and Naledi grabbed his hand out of instinct. Zayn held it firmly, guiding her with a flashlight, and when she whispered, "You make me feel safe," Zayn knew he was losing the last bit of control he had. Secrets travel fast in cities, and soon Mr. Kato noticed a strange brightness in Naledi's face, something unfamiliar, something unconnected to him. He questioned her, but she avoided eye contact, and Zayn saw the growing pressure in her eyes. One night, after a tense argument between the couple, Naledi stepped out onto the balcony alone, tears in her eyes, the city winds brushing her hair. Zayn followed quietly and asked, "Naledi, what do you want?" "Not what they expect what you want." She looked at him for a long, painful moment and whispered, "I want to breathe." Without touching her, without crossing a line, he became her refuge, her first taste of emotional freedom. And it was on that balcony, under the city sky, that Naledi realized something terrifying yet liberating. Zayn had shown her a version of love she had never experienced. But before anything could happen, Mr. Kato announced that he and Naledi would be moving to another country for a new business expansion. Naledi pretended to smile, but her eyes broke silently. On her last day in the city, she found Zayn alone and said, "Another life, another world. We would have changed everything." Zayn replied, "Then I'll meet you in that world someday." They shared one long, final look, deep, emotional, unforgettable, before she walked away, leaving Zayn with a heart full of love that would live in the spaces between memories and destiny. Their story never truly ended. It simply remained suspended like the city lights she always loved, waiting for the right time to shine again. If you enjoyed this emotional, forbidden love African tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to African Folktales Official for more heart-touching modern stories. See you in the next one. Bye.